I wouldn't recommend them to. And not just, this is not because of my bias as a pharmaceutical or modern medicine person. This is because I went and I gave it a chance, and I was really hoping there was something to it, because so many people speak about it, so many people have reviews that will blow you away, and I really, really wanted to give it a shot. And above all else, I was hoping that I would get cured, and I didn't. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Kabelo Hlopo, and let's get right into today's story. It promises to be interesting. How I got introduced to the idea of vaginal steaming was, I used to get really intense cramps since, not since when I first had my period, since I think the later bits of my high school years, so Form D, Form E. And then we had tried everything. I'd been on anything that was said to cure period pains, that was an oral preparation. I've been there. And at that point, I was on pain meds almost chronically, because I used to take mefenamic acid, 2 capsules 3 times a day for 5 days every month, and which then led to me having ulcers. But that's another video. Let me know in the comments if you would like to hear that story. But then there's this lady that my mom took me to and she spoke about, amongst the other things that she said would help me, she spoke about steaming. But it was not like this one that's been popularized now where you steam with herbs. She was just saying, whenever I feel those cramps coming on, or whenever I'm having my period and it's really intense, the pains are unbearable, I could just warm water and sit on top of it, I guess. But it sounded weird, honestly. So no, I didn't. I just stayed on pain meds, and it was honestly hellish, because now I have period pains and I've also developed ulcers. So I take pain meds, but I'd still feel cramps, and I didn't know if the pain meds were working or if they weren't working, or if they were working but just I was experiencing the ulcers as a side effect. It would just be painful, unbearable, intense. Anyway, and so I continued for a while, for years, I think, until this year, when I decided I was gonna try, because the lady I got them from has like raving reviews. Like, the people who have used them, the testimonials still post, they will sell anybody, even a skeptic like myself, because I was a skeptic. Now, I've never recommended that anybody use traditional or alternative medicine, but I've also had this lecturer. He was a guest during one of the courses I took in university, and he said something that stayed with me, I think, for in all of my years studying and working, and is that if it works, then we shouldn't really be calling it alternative medicine, because it does what we want to do, and that is, it helps the patient. So that's the attitude I went into that whole thing with, that let me just see, what could I have to lose? I mean, the upside, if this thing works, is that I'm cured for life, or at least I don't have to depend on medicine as much. So I went, I steamed the first time. It was soothing. It was, oh, it's important to note that when you do steam, you can't use it during your period. You can use it, I think, up to 3 days leading to your period, and then 1 day when you're done, completely done with your period. So I steamed 2 weeks before my period, and it was soothing. It was very calming. It was nice. I felt relaxed. It felt like I was being pampered. Like it felt really, really nice. So unfortunately though, after I was bathing, I felt it was not an itch, it was just discomfort. And I was not sure, but I was like, maybe it's working, maybe it's, because that's what they'll also say, that when you have a discharge, it means it's getting rid of all of those things that were bad and in you. So I was not put off then, because I just felt, oh, okay, maybe this is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to experience some kind of discharge, and that's when the impurities are coming out. And then it happened, that lasted for about 2 to 3 days. And then on the third day, when I thought it was all gone, and then I had a thrush because it started itching. And that's when I realized that this thing is weird, man. So I went to the pharmacy, I got treatment, and then in 2 days it had cleared. And then I spoke to the lady who sold me the herbs. I told her what had happened, and she said, oh no, okay, some people go through that type of thing, so when it happens you have to steam again. In fact, you should have used them immediately after, as soon as you started noticing the weirdness. So I went back and I steamed again, and this time it was a little less weird afterwards. Nothing was oozing. And then came 2 weeks later, I had my period. So it was nice, no pains. I had like cramping, but mild, really mild compared to what I'm used to. I didn't even need to take any form of pharmaceutical preparation. So I was breezing through my cycle. Then the next month came. I went through the same thing. I steamed, I was relaxing, I steamed a little closer to my period. But this time nothing worked. Like when my period came, I was still experiencing discomfort, and I usually get the bloating and the pressure and the pains like 2 days leading up to my period. So during that time I started feeling things, and I was like, wait, what, how? So I steamed again. No weirdness like the first time I'd used it, but this time my period came and it was painful. It was really painful. The same type of pain I'd always gone through, which is weird and disappointing and heartbreaking because I thought I was healed. I was not. Guys, I was not healed. I've not been healed, and I maybe didn't give it a fair shot, but I never went back to using the herbs again. And this is why. If I am gonna go through, well, I don't know, maybe I don't understand yet how they really, really work, but in my head, how they were supposed to work is that I'd be cured. I mean, feel free, if you've used the herbs before, let me know in the comments how these things are supposed to work. Have you used them? Have they worked? What did you experience? Any discomfort? Anything similar to what I experienced? But in all honesty, I felt like, I mean, I'm not saying I expected magic. I'm not saying I expected that they'd be gone forever. Maybe I did. But my point is, if I use the thing, I expect to not feel pain during my periods, or I wouldn't have to take, at the very least, the painkillers I was used to taking if I had used them. And the second time I ended up needing painkillers. So I didn't understand why I would keep using them, honestly, if I'm just gonna use the thing and then take painkillers after. And also, it's important to note that I was just using them for my period pains. So all of those other things that they are said to do, I can't speak on those things. I can't say they don't help. They can't make you more fertile. They can't cure fibroids. Although I can't speak to everybody's experience. This is what I went through, and would I recommend them to the next person, honestly. No, I was not. I don't feel like they helped me, and I gave them a fair shot. I tried and I tried. So more than just the fact that I always tell my patients don't do that sort of thing, now I have my own personal experience to back that up, to say, guys, if you get a placebo in a clinical trial, you could get cured. So that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to comment, to like, to share, to subscribe, to put on the notification bell so that you're notified next week, Wednesday, when I upload another video.